directly at 8 o'clock?
I mean, we have a few minutes. We're just going to make sure things...
Wait.
Wait, is it on? Is it on?
Yeah.
You guys...
Wait, is it recording?
Yeah. It's live.
Right now?
It's okay. We have a minute or two. Come here.
But no one's using it right now.
I don't know. I don't see people on. Is it public? You're live. You're building an orange. Okay. Don't drink in front of the camera.
Are you just puffing?
Assalamu alaikum, Dana sister.
Hello.
We're starting in a minute or two.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be the cameraman. No, you're not.
Okay, you have other viewers. Say your salam.
Wake up. Love you. Or whatever.
You're gonna be my watch.
Thank you.
So Anna asked them how did they hear you? Clear?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Uh-huh. Can you please comment if you could hear us?
Is the picture clear?
Can you hear us?
Okay. Juggle with this.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You want to begin now?
Okay.
Okay, this doesn't do.
Don't get off with the camera. Okay. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in on this webinar, Kicking Hate Out of This World. I am your host, Susu. I would like to introduce you to my mom, Gulmakai Saleh, the author of Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule. I have to go. Bye. Peace.
Okay. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Gulmakai Saleh. Some of you know me and some of you don't. I was actually born in Afghanistan, Kandahar, and I came to the United States of America at age 4. I am a teacher, an author, and a mentor for young children and parents. Okay, this is something new for me, so bear with me, getting my nerves out. Anyway, I was a refugee myself, running from the war in Afghanistan with Russia. So now I was raised here in the United States of America. That's a little bit about me. I'm also a mother of 4 lovely children and a grandmother to a little baby girl. So, I am an author of 2 books. My first book is The Everything Soup. And my second book is Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule. Both of my books are focused on the Golden Rule, building morals and character into our children. So why was I inspired to write these books? Well, I don't want to speak about the Everything Soup because I could talk about that later, but I want to talk about Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule. As a kid, being raised here, being a refugee, having 2 different cultures, one it was my Afghan culture, one was my American culture, living in a society where a lot of people did not know about Islam. I faced a lot of hate growing up here, especially in school. That's where the hate comes from. When you're in school and the kids are bullying you because you wear a hijab or you don't fit in with the rest of the group, you're the only Muslim in the school. So it was very hard for me. I was bullied for 3 years in my middle school year. I forgave all my bullies, but what was hard for me is I never understood why teachers never did anything about it, why they turned a blind eye to it. So what I went through has inspired me to write and be a voice to other children who have been bullied and have gone through hate. So this book I wrote for that purpose is to help other children build their confidence, build their self-esteem. What happened to me during my school days is that I lost my confidence. I lost my self-esteem. I felt like I was useless. I was nothing. And one was due to the fact that I was being bullied and none of the teachers really did anything about it. I had gone to the vice principal twice and he just told me to ignore it. I think it's hard to ignore it when it's happening every day, almost in every single class. You're being called a name, and several times my hijab has been pulled down off of me. But the thing is, I was not the only one bullied. There was other kids being bullied too, and I felt sorry for them. I felt sympathy for them. I understood how they felt. So it was really sad for me. But I overcame what happened, and I know still today hate is rising, especially what's happening with current events. And I think I really need to speak about this and tell other people and give solutions and strategies for parents, administration, teachers, mentors, everyone who's out there who deals with children to help them, because it's very hard. You never understand unless you're in that person's shoe how it feels to be bullied or hate. If you don't know, you don't understand, at least try to understand. Have some sympathy for those people. So, like I said, I was inspired by what happened. What motivated me is what happened during my childhood. But this book is not just for me. It's for all those out there who are being daily bullied. Today, I see so many videos and articles where the kids, after the Trump won the election, kids in the cafeteria screaming, build a wall, build a wall. Why are we building walls? I mean, why don't we build a wall around the heart that has hate in it? That's where we should build our walls, around hate. Not to other people. Why are we deporting people? Why are we discriminating against people? All this should be understood, and hopefully I hope to be able to make it possible. So it feels kind of strange talking to a phone. It's my first time doing a webinar, and I do apologize if you notice my nervousness. And so I wanted to talk to you about my book before I give you, there's two parts to this webinar. Actually, it's launching my book, and the other part is doing my webinar on strategies on how to deal with bullying and hate. So my book, Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule, if you see the front cover, this girl, she's Princess Diversity. She's not really a princess, but her parents named her Princess Diversity. So I don't want boys to think that this is only a book for girls. So I named her Princess Diversity. I was inspired by the Aborigines of Australia. They had green eyes. I saw pictures once, and they had dark skin and blonde hair, and some of them had colored eyes. And it really made me think, like, all these people were always thinking we're better than the other nation or the other race or the other faith group. But when we think and we study history, we see that we have ancestors that have gone through different. If you check our genes, we've been probably having ancestors from different parts of the world. Even yesterday, I saw an article about these couples who were Caucasian, and they had children who were dark in color. They looked like African American, but if you study their history, but probably they had that gene from the past, and we never could assume that we're like pure, whatever we believe we are to be. So that's why I was inspired to draw. I asked my illustrator to draw her in that way. So the reason she's called Diversity is when she was born, of course, it's not in the story, but her parents does name her Diversity because she has a lot of different characteristics. She, of course, the color of her skin, the color of her hair and the eyes. She has freckles on her face. You know, things that kids get laughed at. She's poor. You can see in the picture, her glasses are broken. Of course, kids get laughed about their glasses. Her clothes are not that good. They're worn and torn. So she's really poor. And she also has a handicap. You know, a lot of our kids, they look down on kids who cannot function as other people could. So it's sad, and we need to educate our children, build compassion in their heart towards all types of people. Okay, this is one picture I really love. If you can see closer, it's children all across the world and a map of the world. Children come from all different parts of the world, dressed differently in their own native clothing. So the more we tell our children that, you know, the more we study the culture of other people and societies, the more we'll have understanding towards them and respect them and enjoy their whereabouts. And okay, I also have this one more picture to show. I'll bring it up. Okay, this picture, that's Princess Diversity. This is an African American girl. This is a native boy. I really stand by the natives because I know they went through so much, especially today what's going on in Standing Rock. You know, it's sad, you know, they're still being oppressed like that. So, you know, I know natives, they went through a lot, and I really care about their cause. And this is a boy who has a handicap issue, a birth defect. And this is, of course, a Muslim girl with a hijab. And this is a Jewish boy, and we know Jewish, they went through a lot. So when Princess Diversity speaks, she's not only speaking for herself, she's speaking for all the children, no matter what race, religion, culture, where they belong, what nationality. She's speaking for humanity. So that was my main message I wanted to give through this book. I'll read the summary in the back. As you know, hate is prevalent everywhere. Princess Diversity is here to stop by teaching children about the Golden Rule. The word hate is not a word in Princess Diversity vocabulary. She'll do anything to stop hate and bullying. She is upset that her friend has been bullied. Princess Diversity cannot let hate continue in her school. She wants to stop it in its tracks by teaching the students in her school about the Golden Rule. Can she get the message across to those who have a habit of bullying? Will Princess Diversity stick to her words and face the school kids with bravery? You must read to find out. So, I'm just going to go back to the beginning. Well, this was the first page. Princess Diversity, she's sleeping in her bed, and something really happened. I'm going to read the first page. Princess Diversity was tossing and turning in bed. She could not sleep because earlier in school that day, a classmate shared a passage of his writing journal with her. She had written about how he was bullied by his classmates and how it made him feel. She could not forget how sad he looked. Being someone herself who was bullied, she understood how he felt. She couldn't accept the hate anymore and stay silent in front of those who hurt others. This was enough. She was going to do something about it tomorrow. But what to do? What to do? The nightlight cast a soft glow on the poster that hung on the wall. She softly read the bolded letters, the Golden Rule. That's when she smiled to herself when the idea came to her head. We could see the poster, the Golden Rule. Anyway, this part of the page has some it's related to some parts of my life. I was sitting one day in 7th grade. It was study hall, so we didn't have much to do, and there was this young boy who was being always bullied. I felt his pain. So I told him, "Can I read your journal?" And he said, "Sure." And when I start reading his journal, he talked about how he felt, how the kids treated him, and how sad it made him feel. So it really moved me, and I was very sad. And I remember to this day, I have anytime you have emotion attached to any memory, you remember it vividly. So it was very sad the way I saw him being so sad and how he felt. I even read what the teacher had wrote. The teacher had wrote that sticks and stones might break your bones, but words do not. And, thinking about that, your bones will heal, but a heart does not heal. Depending upon the type of person that is, some children could heal. Like I healed, thank God. I'm grateful to God that God healed me from the pain, what I felt. So now that's why I am moving on and trying to make a difference, even if it's, changing one child's life. That's I'll be happy. So with this boy, I hope it has not affected his life. And my friend, wherever he is, I hope he's successful in life. But some people do not change. Some people become depressed. Some kids become suicidal. And there's news that so many kids have committed suicide because they're being bullied. And, we have to do more. We can't just say, "Oh, okay, I gave a lecture, I gave a talk, I wrote a book about it, that's it." We have to do more to stop this bullying, this hate. And we have to understand, where is this hate coming from? That's what will be discussed in my webinar. So, of course, what I did, from 6th through 8th grade, I was bullied. During the 8th grade, it died. My teacher, she was telling us a story, and she mentioned something. She said, if kids, someone laugh at you, laugh with them. So that's what I did. In 8th grade, that was it. I was like, I'm going to get up and stand up for myself, and I'm going to stand up for other kids. That's it. My bully, the bully I had, he was a huge, tall kid. He would bully me every day, and he was a leader. And I don't know, I still don't understand why he was bullying me. He was famous. He was, by the way he was dressed, he was well off. I didn't understand why he was bullying me. The only thing I could come up is hate. I mean, I hadn't do anything to him. I was always nice to him. He was big. He was tall. It's someone you do not want to mess with. He was really, really tall, like those basketball players. And, he was a leader. When he started making fun of me, the whole class would laugh at me. The girls were okay, but sometimes when they would join in too, they would only use me when they needed homework or something. So finally, 8th grade came, and I remember my teacher's words, which, she was directing to the whole class, but I took it in and I applied it into my life. So what I did near the end of the school year, where, we don't have that much work, so I decided to do something about it. So I wrote a rap. Yeah, I know. You can't imagine me rapping. But anyway, I wrote a rap. And in that rap, I make fun of everyone. Everyone. So during the break, I get up and I ask my teacher permission to say the rap. And I did not rap it, but I did say it. So I'm making fun of everyone in the classroom. And that person I'm making fun of, his face turns red, or her face, you could tell they're upset. But the moment passed, because now his time or her time is over, it's the next student I'm bringing down. So everyone is like, happy, laughing at each other, but still they're, edgy because I made fun of them. Then what I did at the end really surprised them. What I did at the end is I started laughing at myself. And I made jokes about myself. I said what the kids said about me. I laughed at myself, and everyone started laughing, and no one even object to me for making fun of them or bringing them down, because at the end I laughed at myself. I laughed with them. So I followed what my teacher told me, and actually the 2 or 3 months that were left of school, it went smoothly. So something similar, but not exactly happens in this book at the end, but you have to find out. Okay, moving on. Enough about me. I'm not really an interesting person. I'm an introvert, so it takes a lot of guts for me to coming out here and talking. Like I said, my confidence was taken away from me, not just from the bullying, but also what was taught in class. I was a minority; very few Muslims were there, so there wasn't anything about Islam being taught in the classroom, and I felt that we Muslims were nothing. No history. There was the Dark Ages, and no one ever taught me how Muslims had advanced during the Dark Ages, when in other parts of the world it was the Dark Ages, and in the Muslim world it was the Golden Ages. So I was like very, I was very sad. I had strong beliefs in God, but when, nothing was being mentioned about what happened during those 1,000 years, the world was not all dark. There was light coming from somewhere, and no one would mention that. And it really took my confidence away. So, I really love teaching social studies class, but I believe that social studies class has to be very diverse, and we have to make sure whatever students we have, we make sure that even if we could take a few days out of the lesson, the curriculum, the lesson time, and teach just, even if it's one child from China, let's teach about China. If it's one child from Antarctica or wherever, or one sick boy, let's teach about their faith. Let's teach about them. Why? Because that's when they will feel comfortable. So I felt very, one was the bullying, and like I said, one was not anything mentioned about the Muslims had contributed to the world. So that really took my confidence. So it was just a few years ago that my confidence came back. My self-esteem came a while back before that. But like I said, it took some time. And this is not just happening to a Muslim. This is happening all across everyone. This is happening to Sikh children who follow the Sikh faith. This is happening to Chinese people, Japanese people. This is happening to Mexicans. This is happening to people all around. This is happening to different faith groups, different race. So I'm just one part of the story. I'm just telling you my story, but there's more to it. So excuse me for a second. I didn't mention what else I'm going to do with my book. I do plan to do workshops. First, I'm going to start in my neighborhood in Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. I'll be going around and giving workshops to children, and another workshop to parents, and also having reading for younger children on different ways and strategies to eliminate hate. Hate can't exist on this earth. We have to make sure that we have to work together. I can't do it alone. We need to be together, united on this. Okay. Now I'm going to start. That's the book launch is over. Again, now it's more focused on the webinar. So what is my focus on the webinar is giving you strategies on how to build empathy in a child. How to build love, consideration in a child's heart. You know what happened during recent events, and you all see what's going on. Lately it's just escalated, but it's been happening for a long time with of course, Standing Rock. You see what's going on with the Black Matters That Lives, with Muslims. You see so many things. You see people entering the Sikhs' temples and shooting them. You see so many things happening. It's sad, right? We all feel sad about it. But what can we do? What can we do as a community? What can we do as an individual? We have to ask ourselves, how can I stop hate? How can I kick hate out of this world? We could live in this world without hate if we all put our efforts together and try. So, continuing with that thought, with the recent election, it was so disgusting. I have no other words to describe it. It was so disgusting because these are our leaders. These are experts. They're experienced. They're financially. They have everything set. Our leaders who were running for election, and you see them bullying each other on national TV, and our children are watching these grown-ups, these old people, getting on each other, and one is backbiting the other, and one is talking about the other and bringing the other person down, and it makes you think, what's going on here? Why are these older people who these young kids are looking up to, they're bullying each other on national TV, and our kids are watching? What would they learn? What would they learn? They won't learn anything good. So don't expect for our kids to behave, and we as the adults are not behaving. We're not really behaving. It's hard to digest that, but that's the truth. It's said, the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. But in today's age, that village is nowhere. There's no village to raise a child. That's why families are being destroyed. The family is the fabric of society. But you see, it's being destroyed because there's no village to help that child. Parents are being blamed. I'm a teacher, and I see every time people putting the blame on parents. And I have to stand up for parents. Don't blame these parents. Why? Because they are going through a lot. So many new things are happening in the past 10, 15 years that parents do not know what to do. New technologies coming, new advancements are coming. We don't know what to do. Parents don't know what to do. Even for myself, when my son, my oldest son, he's 23 now, but when he was a teenager, he wanted a cell phone, and I didn't know much about a cell phone. It just came in, So it just came in, and I'm like, what should I do? Should I get it from now? What should I get? I was just afraid he would talk to a girl, So anyway, I didn't know the harm of phones. So it was something new. Think about all the social media, all these new things that are coming, and parents, they're lost. Well, how can we blame parents? We're always blaming parents. Yeah, there are neglectful parents. I'm not saying careless parents. They are like that. But I've seen so many parents who try so hard, day and night. They get up very early, and they drive kids to good schools. They do so much. They work hard for them. But they're being blamed. But why are we blaming the parents? Why don't we blame the society? Where is the village? Where is that village that we need to raise that good child? It's not there. It's nowhere. I don't know about you, but I like this movie called Bug's Life. I know it's a cartoon. I really like it and enjoy it. There's something special about Flick and what happens in this movie. Flick, he's an individual. I relate to him a lot. He's an individual who's not understood. Who's like no one wants in their surrounding. They're pushing him away and getting rid of him. So what I saw, how I could relate to him is he is motivated. He inspires. He has something in him that changes the whole colony of ants. As you know the story, for those who have not watched the movie, there's these grasshoppers who are mean and big, like my bully. But I forgive you. They're mean and big, and they come to take advantage of the small ants and tell them to give us the seeds, collect seeds for us and give it to us every season. So the ants, they oblige, they obey and they follow along. So then what happens is Flick, he doesn't feel comfortable. He don't think this is right. He thinks this is wrong. It's totally wrong that these big people, these big creatures are taking advantage of us young, small insects. So what he does is, at the end of even though at the beginning no one wanted him, at the end he became the superhero. He united the ant colony. He told them that this power we have, if we unite, we could get rid of these grasshoppers. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if we, people who wants good, people who wants peace, people who wants love and understanding, wants unity. If we all work together to build that village and give it to the family to help them raise their child, we could make that difference. But we all need to work together. You know, getting rid of hate too is the same thing. We need to get rid of hate, and we have to all work together to get rid of that hate. Just like Flick did with his ant colony. He united them, he brought them together, he used creativeness, he was motivated, he was determined, he got out of his comfort zone. He was not giving excuses to himself. He went forward and did it. And I'm really proud of him. I always give this example to students and young people. So continuing on with that, I'm not going to really go into, the into the different terminology of bullying, because I think that information is everywhere, and a lot is going on. I do things differently, like Flick. I try to do things my way, and so just some things I want to mention, but I'm going to say quickly as possible because of time-wise. The real things I want to say is later on. So there are 3 types of people regarding bullying. It's the one who's bullied, the kid who's bullied, the bystander who looks, maybe he laughs, maybe he or she doesn't care, maybe they feel something but they don't do nothing about it. So then there's also the bully, and the bullies are different types. There are bullies who bully just because they want to. They like power. They do it because maybe they don't have love, no attention at home or anywhere else. So this brings them attention and fame. There may be others. There's a lot of reasons bullies bully. So we also have to understand them too, and not just label them, oh, he's a bully, and detention or suspension. We need to really counsel that bully and understand him. So continuing on, like I said, another thing we should also be aware of is parents. Maybe a lot of your children are coming to you, oh, I was bullied in school. Being a teacher, I see so many different cases when a child, sitting next to a child and they bump their elbow, and the other child say, oh, teacher, he bullied me. The child does not understand the concept of bullying. Hitting someone on the elbow or a book, accidentally touching them, is not bullying. So what I do with my kids is I try to teach them communication skills. So I tell them how to communicate, people skills. So how to talk with him and say, you hurt me, and talk to them nicely, or do you mind moving your elbow or moving down a little bit? So I tell them not to complain everything, little things to me. So learn to communicate with them, because this is not bullying. So I had to really teach them a lesson about bullying. What is bullying, what is not, what to do, what not to do. So I'm going to continue with that. There's different types of bullying. There's verbal, there's physical, there's cyber. There might be other kinds too. We need to educate ourselves on them and help our child or help our students. So like I said, what I want to focus on is giving tips and strategies on how to build empathy in a child. If I'm not pronouncing that word right, is a tongue twister for me. Okay, this advice is, there's 2 parts to this. There's one focus for parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, what they could do. It's that village working together to make that child a good child, successful child. And then the other part is, for schools, teachers, administration, coaches, mentors. There's different types. Anyone who's dealing with kids, they're helping kids, different activities they could do. I could stand here and give a lecture to my students. Okay, they learned some things, some facts, and that's it. Would they apply it into their life? No. They will not apply it into their life unless we make it very interesting. We use their emotions, talking them to them through emotions, touching their heart. We're not literally, but with our words, we touch their heart. We speak to their heart, just telling them things and talking, it might change some minds. But we really need to do things differently. And I mean, I see people doing it here and there. Schools are doing it here and there. I've been applying these tips in my children's life and my students, and I've seen benefits in it. So the first thing is, of course, the parent. You have to be a role model. If you're spewing racial slurs and talking about this person, that person, and making yourself better than that race or that nationality or that tribe, your child is looking, even though they might be playing with their toys, they're hearing you. They hear you. So they hear everything you say. I want to tell you a little bit about my parents. Both of my parents were born in Afghanistan and raised there. So they came to the United States with me when I was young. And the way they raised me, they never told me not to hate anyone or not to be mean to anyone or anything. But their actions spoke to me louder. How they lived their life taught me how to live my life. And I'm trying to do that the same with my children. So what they taught me in life was that, I'm sorry, I can't see the comments because the phone is very far away. I know some of you are typing. So inshallah, I'm going to go through the comments. Question time will be at the end of Q&A. I'll even extend the time up to 9 o'clock, inshallah. But anyway, what time is it anyway? 8:37. I'm talking a lot. Okay. Where was I? So my parents, they set a good example for me. My father, he was an activist for peace. He would protest. He would go and protest. He would take me and my siblings along, and we would protest for peace. I was very young. It was cold. It was in New York City. I remember. He would invite any kind of people, African American, Caucasian, Spanish, Asian, Jewish, Christians. They were all welcome to our house, and they were treated as royals. That's one thing about my Afghan culture, is that, anyone who comes to our house, we have to treat them like royals. So my father, he would go all out and treat them like, it's their wedding day. So they were treated very well. And that showed me how to respect guests and how to treat them and honor them. He was very respectful to older people, and that taught me how to respect older people. He was very merciful to the young children, and that also helped me. And of course, this was ingrained in our faith, in our religion of Islam, and my father was applying that to his life. My mom, on the other hand, she was doing her thing. She never turned a sick person down when they needed help. She would go to them and give them her support. She would stay there, clean their house up, cook for them, take care of the child, and take care of the sick patient. And anyone who came to the house, my mom would be cooking. My father, he was helping out. So, they set a very good example for me. And I didn't realize until later on in life that how much good they did, and they taught me this. But one thing did happen, not that my parents are guilty of, it's not their fault. Since my father, he was the eldest, and in our Afghan culture, all our cousin, our aunts, whoever are related to us, they would come to our house because my father was the oldest. And when they came, they brought in their, talking with them. And they would say a lot of racist remarks and stuff. In my heart, I was like, why are they talking like that? I was a kid, I couldn't express my thoughts. I was an introvert, like I said. So I would why are they talking like that? So anyway, so like I'm saying, my parents really set a very good foundation for me of tolerance, love, and understanding. And I really want to apply that. Even though I had this 3 years of bullying and hate against me, then on the other hand, my parents are showing me this love. Love is greater than hate. Look at my father. He was older, and he was. We weren't that rich, but he would give the best dinner to people that people who not eat in royal palaces. They were treated with dignity. That person felt. Them wanting to come again and again. And we will also go, I remember going to churches as a kid. Our father would take us there, and we had Christian friends. Till this day, I have this one Christian friend. She was our friend since we came to the United States of America. So, we took what my father taught me, and like I said, what my mom taught me through their actions really motivate me to make sure my kids grow the same way. So I do that with my kids too. On my Facebook, there's this album. I forgot what title I gave it, but what I do with my kids to love. So like I take them to churches, I take them to synagogues, to elderly homes. So I do like different things with them to build love in them for everyone, for humanity. So I need to keep, go on because it's taking too long. Enough about me. Okay, so we should teach our children about empathy and consideration for other people. In my book, Princess Diversity, in the last page, I have a list of ideas what to do with kids, with your children at home. I mean, you don't have to do it only. The uncle could go and get his kids and your kids, or the aunt or the grandparent. Someone could do it. It's, how to help the child first. They have to understand emotions, building their character. So they're just different strategies I give in the book, which you could, I'm going to say some. So, teaching the child responsibility at home. Sometimes our kids, they go volunteer outside, but at home, they don't do anything. So first we have to teach them first to respect themselves, then, their family working inside. That's charity. That's when you neglect your own parents and you go help the neighbors, that's not good. First you need to help your parents, and don't neglect the neighbors too, but don't neglect your parents too. So, helping sick family members like my mom was doing, support people, your family members if they're going through hardship or anything. So, and in this box, so anyway, so there's different ways to teach children empathy, because they need to feel, they need to see. If you're just talking, oh, we need to be kind to the poor and help them, give them charity, we need to take care of the sick, and they never seen a poor person, they never touched a poor person, they never felt a poor person, they never smelled a poor person. That sense, they smell it, they hear their voices, they hear their stories. That will change them. Once my daughter, I took her to an elderly home. She didn't want to go. She was like, Mom, I don't want to go. I said, please, just let's go for an hour. This old lady, she's lonely. She doesn't speak the language, English language. So she's lonely really there. It's double the hardship on her because she doesn't speak English and she's in the nursing home and she's alone. So finally I took her. The 1 hour became 2 hours, and my daughter just sat there and she listened to the story of the elder, and you could see her face, you could read her expression on her face. She became so moved, so upset that this older woman was here. And when we came back, I asked her, I said, thought you might be irritated that I was staying so long, and she was fine about it. And she said, Mom, I really was moved by her story, and I felt so sad for her. She said, let's do it again. And, that really, the reason is why, I've been talking about our elders, to treat the elders with respect and all that stuff, but it's not really affecting unless you put them in that situation. So when she went there, she heard the story, she saw the tears coming down the lady's face, she felt so many things, and it changed her. So now she's, I've also done it with the school I've been working with. We went to elderly's home, the nursing homes, and we took stuff to them, and it was a group project. The kids, they were very nice, mashallah, happy. You could see the smile on all the older people's faces. They're so excited that, all these young, vibrant kids are coming and giving them gifts. So they were all happy, and that triggered an emotion in them. And we need to do more of these things, not just in nursing homes, kitchen soups. We could go to kitchen soups, offering food to the poor. So So there's different things you could do. Think about some and give me your ideas too. So let's continue on. Another thing is turn off that TV, turn off the radio, turn it off. Because these kids are hearing this hate. You know, the Muslims are coming, destroying the United States of America because they hate us. Really? I think it's the opposite. We're not doing that. We're actually building America because it's our country. It is our home and we love it. I love Philadelphia. That's where I am from. I came here. This was where I took my first step in the United States, was Philadelphia. It's the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. So it's a city where love was built. So, you know, I love my country. I love my city. And my love doesn't stop there. My love is for the whole world, for all of humanity. I just don't think about the best interest of myself, but the best interest of the world. As humans, we need to work together to make the world work. We can't make ourselves better and neglect our neighbor, right? Because that neighbor one day will turn against you, or one day you will be down and that neighbor will bring you up. So really focus on helping everyone, not just yourself. So, so turn off the TVs, turn off the radios. It's putting fear into our children. Our children are scared. I don't know. My daughter, she comes to me on the day Trump is elected. I don't have cable. I don't turn on the news. I don't want my children to hear this garbage. She comes to me, Mom, the purge is going to happen on the Muslims. I'm like, what? Where did you hear that? Of course, another child at school. Parents probably watching TV. The kid is hearing it. They're scared. They think the purge is going to happen on the Muslims. So she tells the news to my daughter, and my daughter tells me the news. And I'm like, oh my God, now I have to, you know, teach her, sit her down, explain to her, no, don't worry. So anyway, turn off those TVs. One, you might put fear in your child. It takes their confidence away, the self-esteem away. Two, you might be making someone who becomes a bully or a hater. Because if your child is not in those categories that are being mentioned on the news, your child could become arrogant and think they are better than others. They could become the bully. Or not all the time. You know, sometimes, you know, think about it this way. Pretend you're a bully, right? And you hear in the news that the Mexicans are coming to take over your jobs, and your parents are going to, you know, this is a child thinking. You know, you have to go to child psychology and think about how they're thinking. And the child will be thinking, oh, the Mexicans are coming, they're taking our jobs away. My mom or my dad is going to be jobless, and what's going to happen to us? So a fear is put in that child. He starts hating the Mexicans. So that's why we need to, another reason to turn off those TVs and radios, or any internet. Don't talk in front of them too. Don't talk anything about this in front of your child, whether it's in school, anywhere, wherever you are. Do not talk about it in front of your kids. I mean, it could be the same thing. I understand why kids might be afraid of Muslims. Of course, what's being said on the TV, you know, just one Muslim does something, it's everywhere. But when so many Muslims I've seen are doing so much good, it's not in the news. You know, the kid will never hear that news. They will hear that other news. So that's another reason. Like, you don't want your child to be a bully. You don't want your child to be someone who loses their confidence and their ability to do better. So, you know, many reasons to turn off the TV. That's for parents and uncles, and you know, they could do so much to build that village and make their children better, build their confidence, build love in them. You know, there's, you know, they could build, do coat drives together as a family. They could make a donation box, decorate it, collect money, give to charity. If you could, you know, travel the world. If not, you know, Chinatown is right down in Center City. If you live in Philadelphia or look in your area, you want to teach your child about China, go to Chinatown. If you want to teach your child about Italy, there's the Italian market. In New York, there's the Jackson High, learn about the Indian Pakistan culture. So, if you can't afford to travel, you could travel in with the United States and you see all these different shops and towns and places that have a part of another country. Okay, at school. Now, like what I told you what happened to me as a child, my teachers never, ever, that I knew of, said anything, stood up to the bullies. They didn't do anything. Only one teacher, she gave me sincere advice. She said, I could tell by her face, she was upset, she didn't like it. So she would tell me, because I had her 1 or 2 times a week, I think, and she would tell me, why don't you go tell the vice principal? And I took her advice, and when I did tell the vice principal, he told me to ignore it. Every day, ignore it and, do your work. Try to learn. Yeah, that's very hard for a young kid. A young kid, I was 12, between 12 to 14 in that age frame. I lost my father at 12. So, it was not easy for me. So, teachers, please do something when you notice someone is using hate against another child. Administrators, please do something. Mentors, coaches, anyone who has a child under their care, please support them, protect them, and give them the understanding they deserve. So as parents, what we could do in the school is be part of the school. Always be involved. Understand what's going on. Letting your principal and teachers know about a concern you have for a child. If your child follows a faith where they have to pray a certain time or they can't eat certain food, make your teachers aware of that. If a child has a certain illness, a disability, make your parent, make the teachers, make the principal, everyone aware of it, so they have an understanding. And when there's sometimes when I did not know some of my students have certain issues, and I was very upset. I know there's privacy, but when I understand that there's this issue with this child, it makes me deliver the lesson in a different way, have a better understanding, not get upset. Why isn't the child trying harder? When I know, when I'm informed about my students, if they have any learning disability, it makes me become a better teacher because I'm able to cater to their need, their learning style. So anyway, always, like with my daughters, my sons, I would always inform the teachers and the principal, write them a letter that my child has to pray 5 times a day, and one of the prayer, depending on the year, comes during the school time. And they were nice enough, they gave a room where they could pray, and I was very grateful for that. I appreciated that. My sons, they had to go to Juma prayers. I would take them out of school and take them to Juma prayer, and they can't stop you by law as long as my child completed their work. So I was on top of that. My daughter, she wore the hijab, and I did not want her to go through what I went through. So I went to the school, I talked to the teacher, I gave a talk about hijab, I took different hijabs, I took the kufis, and I told the children, and they all enjoyed the talk. They tried on the hijabs, and it was so cute. And I mean, you don't have to be a Muslim only. If you're a Sikh, if you're a Hindu, if you're any religion you follow, and you're a minority and your child is being bullied, go, get out of your comfort zone. Go and teach your child about this, and your child classroom. Depending if there's more parents, there are more parents with the same race or the same issues. Maybe doing an auditorium, doing an assembly, and having a diverse audience, teaching them about the different concerns you have. If a Jewish is wearing a kippah, a hijab, or turban, we need to explain this to the kids. They're young, they don't understand, so we have to really explain to them. Okay, another thing is volunteer. Volunteer to give a talk to the teachers, educate the teachers. They have training days Go to the school, talk to them, maybe take 45 minutes, maybe even less, half an hour, talk to the whole school, the teachers, the faculty, the administrators, educate them about whatever you want to educate them. Even if it's a rare disease. I remember this one father, he came to this one school. His child had a rare disease, and he came to the school, even though his son was not in that school, but he wanted people to know about this rare disease. And he was so, he showed so much love. And what he told the kid and me, myself too, I was really inspired by him. We have to go out there, get out of our comfort zone and teach. I think I'm going over my time limit, but I'm going to go quickly. I have two more slides to go, and I'll be done. Okay, there's questions. I'm going to get to it, so please give me, let me go over what I'm saying, and I'll go over the questions. Okay, for administrators, teachers, caregivers, mentors, coaches, any type of people who deals with children, these are some things you could do. Have a school-wide no tolerance policy. Don't tolerate hate. Don't tolerate any kind of bullying. Hold an anti-bullying week. I've done that in school. I didn't want to be like my teachers who, turned a blind eye. I made sure every school I went to, whether it was the whole school involved, I make sure, besides my own teachings, I gave lessons I had to deliver to my students. I did this on my own, on my side, because I wanted to make sure no students get bullied. So I would hold a school-wide anti-bullying week. We'll bring people, we'll talk to people, we'll do different activities. If I couldn't do it school-wide, I will make sure every year my students in the beginning of the year, they understand what bullying is, what hate is, what is not allowed in my classroom. And alhamdulillah, all praise to God. I know some viewers are not Muslims, but I have that Arabic phrases that I use. All praise to God, it has really impacted these children. Another thing which I love doing is called the Multicultural Day, where it take a week or two. Every class is learning about a different country, a different continent, a different culture, and they make posters and they educate themselves. And what happens is, on this one day, everyone gets dressed up in the country they're representing or their own country their parents are from, and they bring in different dishes, and people come and they tell them about the different cultures and different things that are happening in their part of the world. And it's very good. It's like, you see color, you smell all these different food. It's beautiful. It brightens everyone's day. I don't know, I just love Multicultural Day. And of course, you could use this book too, both the parents and in school. If there's many books out there, yet this is one, my book is one on removing hate, removing bullying away, and like doing the activities in the back I told you about. Sorry, this is a proof of my book. Okay. Have workshops for parents on how to recognize bullying in their child and how to manage it. Some parents, they don't realize that their child is being bullied. They don't see the signs. So, if the school could conduct a workshop on bullying, that would be very helpful, because some of these kids commit suicide, and that's no joke. We should take things serious. If a child is committing suicide, that's very wrong. That means we as adults, as me, I have failed our kids. You have failed. We have failed our children. So we really have to take this seriously. Of course, we have to teach our child about children in schools. What I do, I teach them about emotions. I think psychology is important. Teaching children about emotions, building their character, building their confidence. I get them up. I say, stand up and talk. Let it out, talk. And they do. In the beginning of the year, they come all shy. And then at the end of the year, they're all bright, smiley, and joyful. That's what I want in my students. And we should, as teachers, administrators, we should all build that confidence in our child. They're beautiful. They're gifted. And if someone hates them and that bullying makes them go down and down, they're not the next generation will not be able to present their gift to the world because we as adults are not doing our job again. So, having books in home, at schools, talking about different cultures, emotions, behavior. Some kids, they don't understand their emotions. They're upset and they start, being mean to other kids. So, them understanding it. So, I'm going to have my final thoughts and then I'll answer questions. I am very, very sorry. This is my first webinar live on Facebook. I know I went overtime. I apologize. But my final message is to those people who let hate happen, the bad bystanders. I want you to understand that, what you're doing is not very good because you need to speak up. You need to be involved because one day that's going to happen to you. So you really need to be involved for the good, for the betterment of humanity. Another thing is those who hate, who promote hate, who loves to destroy. Our doors of love and mercy are open. Our doors of forgiveness are open. Every movie you watch, every book you've read, the haters always lose. The winners always win. And who are the winners? Those who love, those who want understanding, peace among the people. So join us, me, and other people like me to promote good and not bad. We'll forgive anything that has gone. So please, if you're someone who thinks you're better than another person, whether in religion, whether in your race, that's not a good, healthy way of living. Because it'll eat you up inside, always thinking, I'm better, ego-ness, and all this will develop in you, jealousy, hatred, envy, and you're going to get sicker and sicker. And I don't want that for you. I want you to come on board with us. Help us promote love, promote peace, promote understanding. Help us stop bullying and hate in school. Help us do so many good. You have the talents and skills. You're showing it in a negative way. Come show it in a positive way. So, come back to us. Because you always had that good in you. It's just something happened through your life that you start hating people and you start hating other people. So anyway, okay, now I'm going to go to questions. But first I want to say thank you everyone for watching. And I'm sorry I went overboard. Introverts, when they don't talk is one thing. But when they're passionate about something and they start talking, they never end. They never want to stop. I could go on and on and on and on. But I know everyone wants to go to sleep or do something else. I will post my website and other links to my Facebook, my Amazon, book on Amazon, my YouTube channel after this video is recorded. My website is gulmakai.com, Gulmakai.com. I have my fan page on Facebook, Gulmakai Saleh. And my book is available on CreateSpace, Kindle, Amazon. And I have YouTube videos. If anyone didn't see my promotional video, my book trailer, please do so. It's on my event page, but it's also on my personal page and all my pages. Okay, now question time. Thank you, Mira Murtaza. I appreciate you giving me that confidence to continue. Thank you, Venna. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I might be pronouncing some names. Thank you very much for your comment. Aliyah Chaudhry. Please send one copy to Donald Trump. It's hard to change old minds. I'm not a pro at that. I like to work with the young kids. Okay, someone had a question. If we don't turn on the news, and how do we teach our children about current events? I mean, you watch the news. If you think your child is able to digest it well, you know your child better than me. What I said was general advice, But specific advice, you have to figure that out, because you know your child better than me. You know what would trigger them, what would make them upset, and what would make them happy. I don't know your child that well. I don't even know him. Anyway, so it's better if there's not all news channels are bad, but you have to go find out, do your search on what news to show them. Getting newspapers like the old days, make them read. Get an article, clip it, give them that article to read. It doesn't have to be all online. Documentaries are good too. I watch them a lot. I watch them with my kids. That's sometimes, like the new documentary on the Syrian refugee. What was it called? I know that they made that $1 a day, and the other one was called, what was it called? I'm sorry, my memory is gone. No questions? White Helmets. Thank you, Dana, my good friend. White Helmets. Yeah, that was a very good documentary. My daughter, oh yeah, this is one thing I forgot to mention. Like I told you, once you make an introvert start talking, she'll never end. My daughter, my children, whenever they're doing projects, I make sure they're educating their classmates and their teacher about Islam or any other, our culture. Why? Because they have a misconception. So like my daughter, she was doing a wax museum in 3rd grade. So she became the wax figure of Malcolm X. And the teacher was surprised when she told her she's doing Malcolm X. Now she's a 10th grader and she has a personal project, which is throughout the year. So I talked to her, I say, there's a lot of Syrians coming to Philadelphia. Why don't you talk? Would you like to do your personal project on them? Ask them how they feel, what they went through, what are their plans living in the United States? Are they're going to help us build the United States, or what the media say that they're going to do? So she's working on it. She's very excited and happy. So that's another way to educate the masses about minorities. Everyone should go out there. Okay, so no questions. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. I wish I knew how to say bye in many languages, but I don't. But assalamu alaikum. Take care. You've been a very good audience, quiet and behaving. Okay, bye. Jazakallah.